Been a little while since I've updated all of you about the Flying Pig bus project. And I've done a lot of, videos recently that are reviews and testing and about the systems of the bus and how to work with certain things. I think this video is going to be a little more about what's it like to convert a school bus. What's it like to have one of these things in your driveway and life around this. I can tell you right now, I'm very fortunate that I have a driveway that's just long enough to park the Flying Pig. I've got about 5 feet on that end where it doesn't hang out into the road. And I'm sure the neighbors are like, oh my goodness, he's lowering the property value because he's got this, half-finished yellow school bus parked in the drive. And on this end, there's very little room between the bus and the garage. So I can't park my car in the garage anymore. So now we're kind of playing musical cars, the wife and I. Sorry about the wind. We live on a hilltop up here, and the wind can be a challenge. The weather can be a challenge. I don't have a cover or a shed big enough to park the Flying Pig in. So I've used my driveway. And that's probably the biggest drawback to my location. So far, we've had 2 blizzards. One of them was like 40-mile-an-hour winds and dumped about 2 feet of snow.
Right here?
Right here, right here. Oh,
Stuck on my head.
yeah, the tarp held up on the bus. The second one, we had less snow, kind of 4 or 5 inches, but we had 70-mile-an-hour winds, and that ripped the blue tarp that I had purchased for the bus off and destroyed it. I've covered the control stand with blankets and tarps to protect the electronics, but the bulk of the bus is galvanized steel, the interior of the bus, and we're letting the rain come in the bus. Because underneath the bus, there's not a lot of, there is some electronics, but those electronics kind of get splashed with water as it drives anyway. So as long as we let the bus fully dry out, it shouldn't hurt it. The factors that I did not quite understand fully when I undertook a project this size, the sheer amount of trash, the debris that we have left over as we've gutted the bus, all the sheet metal, all the seats, that is a full-time job in itself, just recycling that, finding a place to dispose of it, finding people that will come take it. That's a lot. And then we don't have a lot of room here. I've got a 1-car garage that now the bus is totally taken over. There's parts and pieces that I've collected to build this thing out, and then documenting the build. Since this is my first bus build, I have to be very careful in the way I portray what I do because I'm not an expert. I'm sure many of you, if you're watching my channel, you know who Chuck Cassidy is. Chuck has, I don't know Chuck personally, we've never spoken. But from the videos I've watched, the man had a bus conversion business. So that's the kind of person that you want to get your information from. Me, I know welding and fabrication. I have a second channel. My other channel that's old and it's kind of dead, but that's a welding sculpture art channel. My wife and I created this channel because we want to have a separate place to put the RV bus conversion, van lifestyle type stuff, because those two groups of people are not necessarily the same. So welding, fabrication, metal sculpture, metal art, all go on my Jason Hurst channel, and then this channel is all, bus conversion, hydronic heaters, stuff like that. Composting toilets. We haven't gotten there yet. But I have to be very careful with the way I portray myself because I'm not an expert in this field. While I have converted an ambulance previously, if you've watched the channel, you might have come across some ambulance videos. It was, I think, 5 years ago when I converted the ambulance. And I had thought about posting it, but I was in a pretty rough time in my life. I'd just been through a divorce, and I honestly wasn't emotionally strong enough at that point to take the criticism of posting a build of that size and scale publicly. I was doing it for myself. I was going to live in it, and I did live in it for like a year and a half. But when you share something like that, when you share your process, you have a lot of keyboard warriors who sit at home and peck on the keyboard and tell you that what you're doing is wrong, or there's a better way, and so forth and so on. And if they come at you in a genuine constructive criticism vibe, that's cool. But you have many people don't do that. Now I'm in a much better place. This is a much bigger project, and this is round 2. And I told my wife, I said, I want to take all the lessons that I learned from the ambulance build, because I made a lot of mistakes. I think the ambulance was really cool, and I really enjoyed it. It changed my life. That's how good living in that vehicle was. But with the bus, I want to rectify those mistakes that I made, and I want to do it better. So with the ambulance, I was pressed for time. I had to push to get it done to move in. The bus, I don't have to push. I mean, yes, I want to get it done. You know, it's a gigantic, unfinished yellow bus parked in the driveway. So I want to get it done and buttoned up and painted and looking good and make it more of an RV than a stripped down, you know, bus. We'll get there. I look forward to make progress on the build. I've been struggling, honestly, to separate my mind on one side and do artwork, and on the other side, think about the bus. Honestly, it's too much on my plate. I've got a couple of art pieces I'm trying to wrap up. I need to finish those and get them off the workbench, and then that way I can focus on the bus completely. I'm trying to frame it in a way that is helpful and doesn't waste your time. Like if you click on one of my videos for a hydronic heater or something else, I want to get right to the point. I want to make that point, and I don't want to waste your time. That way you're not sitting around going, okay, I have to listen to his theme music again, and I have to. So if it's an informative video, we're going to get right to the point. No BS, no fluff. Let's just get right into it. But a video like this, which is more personal, more my experience, I'm going to let it breathe. We're going to let it breathe and just have a conversation. I like that. This is more my style, but I totally understand. It took me a long time to get that. I totally understand that if you're researching something on YouTube, you want the person to get to the point. So I will try and make sure that all of those how-to videos and informative videos are clear, concise, to the point, and more vlog type conversation videos where you get to know a little bit more about me and who I am. That's where I'll let it breathe. Overall, I feel the Flying Pig's going really well. I don't really know where we're supposed to be as far as, you know, timeline is concerned. I'm not professional, and I'm just chipping away as I go. The weather's been my biggest problem. We live on top of a hill, and the wind up here, I had to move inside because of it, it's obnoxious. It's really nice in the summertime because the breeze keeps things cool. But when you're trying to do a 40-foot roof raise, we're raising the roof 1.5 feet, the pressure the wind will put on that roof during that very sensitive time when it's jacked up and I'm welding the C-channels in, or the hat channels, excuse me, that worries me. So I'm taking a lot of precautions when it comes to the lifting jacks I have fabricated. They're pretty stout. There's 10 of them. But I'm also going to use ratchet straps going from the corners down across the bus to anchor the roof down so it doesn't lift up and it doesn't shift, because I'm worried about it shifting and I'm worried about it lifting in the wind until I get the hat channels welded in. Yeah, I do want to say thank you to all of you who have commented on a lot of my videos and given me feedback. There's been an outpouring of, for the most part, positive vibes, and this channel is new and just getting started, and I really like the way it's going. I think we're kind of maybe building a community or sort of bouncing ideas off each other. In the last video that I released, I took some questions from a couple of people who left them in a previous video and tried to answer them. So I really want to try to do something creative every day, even if it's just a slight maybe a small vlog update. I don't know if I'll do it on this channel or the art channel. The art channel has kind of died since the bus has come into my life. You know, this thing just takes up so much time, and the big thing is brain capacity. You know, planning the hydronic heat system and the wiring and the solar, and one little bite at a time is the way we're going to attack this. Okay, that's enough. My name's Jason. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you like this style of video, please let me know. If I could do anything better, or if you hate this style of video, you can let me know too. I'll see you in the next one.